Welcome to the Knowledge Gumbo Podcast, where we mix together timeless wisdom and thought-provoking stories using quotes, sayings, proverbs, and book passages, primarily by Black women. I'm your curious-minded host, Alicia Thomas. This is your space for gaining knowledge and having meaningful discussions about history, culture, and life lessons with splashes of humor. Let's get to today's spice. To soar towards what's possible, you must leave behind what's comfortable. Cicely Tyson. Two of Cicely Tyson's greatest legacies are the co-founding of the Dance Theater of Harlem with Arthur Mitchell and the Cicely L. Tyson Community School of Performing Fine Arts. This quote leads you to look at what if stepping out of your comfort zone is the key to unlocking your future? Think about that a little bit deeper. Stepping out of your comfort zone can unlock blessings in other things that are waiting on that other side of comfort. I must be in this breaking out of comfort lane based on things that I'm going through lately because as we talked about in the previous week's podcast about comfort, this too deals with that one being more about discomfort. This kind of attacks it from a different vantage point. Comfort is just a rest stop. It's a place where you'll stop along your journey and say, okay, let me refuel. Let me check my mindset. Let me check my goals. Am I going in the right direction? Am I headed in the right path? A place to refuel, sometimes re-educate, reorient yourself to where you're going. It is not a place where you plant the flag, you pull out a seat, and just stay there. Because that comfort spot can quickly become your own personal prison. Comfort is a mile marker. Because when we live a life of total comfort, we live a life without growth. We live a bland life. It's like all people looking the same or being the same. We only need one of you. If there are multiple people like you that look like you, talk like you, do everything the way you do it, one of you is not necessary. We should embrace the comfort when it comes, but comfort should not be something that we put on and never take off. And we can look at that in little bits and pieces throughout history, even looking at Miss Tyson herself. She left the comfort of her home with her mother to become an actress. Her mother did not want her to become an actress. She thought it was beneath her and kicked her out for that. But that was a goal she wanted to go after, and she left the comfort of home and security with her mother to do this. Her career, in many ways, is a testament to not staying comfortable. If you look at it from the standpoint that Miss Tyson was the first African-American woman to wear an afro on television. And this is only back in 1962, so that's not that long ago. And because of that, Ebony magazine called her the mother of the afro. And she became a symbol that Black is beautiful. And there was that movement of Black is beautiful. You know, James Brown, say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. She was willing constantly to challenge herself and step out of her comfort zone. The same could be said for Serena and Venus Williams. They left the comfort of the neighborhood they knew in Compton for the unknown of Florida so that they could follow their dreams and become better at tennis. That had to be a scary thing to go from playing on concrete courts in Compton to these grass courts at these facilities in Florida. We also can look at it from the example of Simone Biles, the greatest gymnast ever, in my opinion. She left the comfort of doing the skills that everyone else is doing. As of this year, 2025, she is the sole gymnast to have competed with 4 skills at a value of H or higher on the floor exercise. The only one. She left the comfort of doing the skills that everyone else was doing. And she has 5 elements named after her on vault, balance beam, and floor exercise. She would have had one on the even bars. She tried it. She went for it. She didn't make it. If she had, she would have been the only gymnast to have elements named after her on all the apparatus in gymnastics. Think about that. She had to leave the comfort of what everyone else was doing, and she pushed the limits to do more and do skills that no one else was doing. When we look at comfort or moving beyond comfort, you have to look at the next point of, in order to grab something that you want, you have to let go of what you have. Of the things that got you here will not take you to the next level. You have to have new skills for new levels, for new challenges, and you have to let go of what you did. You have to keep a certain percentage of what you did, but that's a small percentage. And then reach out in faith on a larger level of things to get to that next step. It's kind of like grandmas used to say, new levels, new devils. And you got to be willing to fight those new devils to get to those new levels. Also, I look at it from the standpoint that you hear all the time, a closed hand can neither give nor receive. Because whatever in your hand at that time, in that closed fist, it becomes a prisoner. You become a prisoner because there's nothing fresh and free flowing into you. And you're not releasing those things that no longer serve you or work for you. There's a scene in the movie God Is Not Dead where this character is a man, he's so comfortable in his sin. They show the visual metaphor that he's living the high life, he's comfortable, but wrapped around that is a prison cell. He's so comfortable that he doesn't even realize that he's imprisoned himself. And that's a powerful visual for how we can allow comfort to keep us trapped in a place where we really don't want to be. And I think the third point that I want to talk about is everything you want is on the other side of fear. Whether that if you're a person of faith or wants to move towards faith, you have to get past the fear and embrace God. Whether that's a relationship where you have to get past the fear to ask someone out on a date or ask to open up the lanes of friendship. You got to step out on faith past the fear to have that person come into your life. You got to move past the fear if you're asking for guidance or direction or assistance from someone who's succeeding at what you want to do. And it doesn't matter whether this person is older than you, and sometimes especially moving past the fear and probably sometimes a little bit of the arrogance to learn from someone who's younger than you. We have to push past the things that terrify us and step out and do more things, because we narrow every time we stay inside our area of comfort. That area actually gets smaller and we don't realize it. And the next thing we know, we're slowly killing ourselves. The thing that once brought you joy, that brought you to that level, is slowly constricting like a snake and squeezing the life out of you. Or I don't know how many of you remember that scene in Star Wars where they're trapped in this trash compactor because they're trying to escape out of this ship. And they're going in there and they're sitting there trying to figure out, how do we get out there? They use poles, they use everything to try to get out. And it's slowly squeezing and trying to kill them until they can get past the fear, get the help that they need from R2D2 to get out of that situation. If you stay too long, what once served you will hurt you. Because there's different levels of comfort, there's different levels of success. If you stay too long, one, other people will pass you. You'll get mad, you'll get jealous, you'll accuse them of thinking they're better than you. No, they kept growing and you stopped. So we have to keep growing and learning and giving and loving, because as we give, we open ourselves up to receive. And so the fountain never runs out. Your well will run dry. If it's covered up, you're trying to protect it, there's no rain that can get to it. There's nothing that can refill it. So you use up what's there, and then there's nothing left, and you've killed yourself. You've killed your opportunities. We have to be open to seeing the fear, acknowledging the fear. Don't run away from it. I highly suggest that you pick up a copy of Cicely Tyson's autobiography, which is called Just As I Am. It's an amazing read. If you have the time, I would say you should definitely get the Audible version because she reads it herself. As you all know, I'm a book nerd. As I like to tease with my friends, my name is Alicia and I have a book problem. And just like with movies, 9 times out of 10, the book is better than the movie. With autobiographies, 9 times out of 10 on Audible, they're way better when the author actually reads the book because you get nuances and other things that you wouldn't get from a regular narrator. And also because she is an actress, it's a very powerful telling of her autobiography. And if I was you, I would pick up Just As I Am. Let's look at this quote one more time. To soar towards what's possible, you must leave behind what's comfortable. Let's look at the challenge this week. Pick one thing that you are afraid to do. Write down a worst case scenario of what could happen if your greatest fear occurs. Make a plan to address it, and then go ahead and challenge that comfort. Do the thing that you're afraid to do. If something doesn't physically or spiritually kill you, do it. Or if that's one of the things you're afraid of, write down opportunities or plans, responses to, if any of this happens, what can I do? And share it with us below in the comment section. Help us to understand, because you don't learn just for you. There's a you-sized hole in someone else, and they're waiting on you. And what's been a theme for me over the last 1.5 to 2 years is to just do it scared. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to have all the little ducks in a row. It doesn't have to have all the pieces in place. I don't have to have the right plan that handles every contingency. Just do it scared and make sure that you fail forward. Because when you fail forward, it's not a failure, it's a lesson. It's only a failure if you don't hit the mark and you get comfortable staying in that disappointment then it truly becomes a failure. Please remember, take a leap, walk out on faith, believe that that next step is going to be there, whether you can see it or not, whether there's fog on the ground or whether it's pitch black. Trust that the ground is going to be there and take that next step. Even if you have a misstep, fail forward and use that opportunity to learn, to grow, to shake off the comfort, step into the unknown, to be great. If this is your first time, don't subscribe or follow right away. Listen to a few more episodes before you commit. We want active family members sharing this great mind food everywhere they go. So share it with your friends and your families who love this kind of information. Thank you for listening and or watching if you're looking at us on YouTube. Please leave a positive review, on your favorite platforms. You are always welcome to pull up a chair. There's always room at the table. The gumbo is hot and made with love. We will definitely see you next week.
Gather round, y'all. It's time to groove.